This past September, we outlined a number of options to assist municipalities to address their financial needs due to the recent natural disasters and our Irene recovery efforts. In keeping with our continued efforts to assist the communities, we are announcing additional steps today. Several of us will speak and they will answer questions. Working alongside the state, our cities and towns have done really amazing and frankly heroic work. This work has demanded that the state and municipalities expend funds to address the immediate needs of constructing or repairing roads, bridges, and buildings. Such badly needed expenditures have caused cash flow stresses for our cities and towns while they're awaiting FEMA, federal highway, and other reimbursements. Working in partnership, we are announcing a series of packages today to address these cash flow needs. First, as was done in September, we will advance the payment of $6.4 million in local highway funds. The payments will be made prior to Thanksgiving, likely tomorrow, rather than the scheduled date of January 15th. Second, the Treasurer's Office, working with the administration, will accelerate payments of approximately $125 million to local schools. Again, these payments will be distributed this week rather than the previous schedule of December 10th. Third, towns significantly impacted by the recent disasters may defer, for one time only, a portion of the education payments due to the state on December 1st, up to the amount of unreimbursed claims. For this portion, the payment will not be due until February 28th. If the payments are not received by that date, 8% interest will be applied to the outstanding balance back to December 1st. Legislative leadership is committed to enacting the necessary legislation to permit the deferred payments. This is a very unique situation, and we really appreciate your help. I stated that this is a partnership. A key to Vermont's continued and successful recovery is partnership within communities and between the state and municipalities. The package we're announcing today recognizes that our towns do not stand alone, and we will work together to achieve success for all of our citizens. I'm going to turn it over to Jeb Spaulding for his comments.
Thank you very much, Treasurer Pearce. Over the last couple of weeks, I think Nancy had asked a question that Ann Manwaring was putting out on behalf of her district, and Steve's in at BPR had asked the question, and perhaps other members of the press too, about whether the state would be able to do anything to provide some temporary relief to some of the towns such as a Wilmington or a Ludlow that were heavily damaged by Irene and have some rather large payments due to the state on December 1st. And I can honestly say that if it hadn't been for the persistence of Treasurer Pearce, this assistance wouldn't have come through. So I think municipalities, municipal officials, and all kinds of folks that are trying to deal with the pressures of Irene should be thankful for that. And it wouldn't be able to happen without the support of legislative leaders to make a commitment that when the legislature gets back, one of its first orders of business will be to actually pass statutory language that actually does allow for the payments that would normally be paid on December 1st to be paid on by the end of February, by March 1st. So it's a pretty substantial amount of work that the Treasurer put forth in combination with the accelerated payments. It's one more thing that we can do to help municipalities. I think we're all impressed by what our municipalities have been able to do since Irene in terms of getting their facilities back in shape, their roads and bridges, helping their citizens. We've tried to come up with various steps along the way in terms of things like accelerated payments, assistance with abatement, small business loans, bringing in some outside consultants to help them with their paperwork. And this is one more important effort that recognizes that the municipalities have been under financial strain. The governor supports this effort, wishes he could be here to support it, but is up in the Northeast Kingdom today. So we're here to say we support the efforts of the Treasurer and the legislature.
Thank you. I would also like to thank the legislators for their hard work for this and so many other aspects of our recovery. I want to thank Speaker Shap and Senate President John Campbell for their hard work and give them an opportunity to speak as well.
Thanks, Beth, and thank you for all the work that you've done I know that you've been very attentive to the needs of the municipalities, working to ensure that the cash flow worked for them, and recognizing this issue around late payments. And so thank you for your work on that. And Anne has also been persistent in highlighting this issue, as has Steve Jeffrey from the Vermont League of Cities and Towns. And we know that municipalities have faced an enormous amount of pressure as a result of this natural disaster. And we need to do what we can to help them out. And we shouldn't put barriers in their way by resisting attempts to help them with their cash flow. And this is just a small measure that will allow us to ensure that towns can go about the work of rebuilding. And that is what we will do when we get back in January. We are already working on the property tax abatement issue, which we had addressed earlier this fall. In fact, the Ways and Means Committee has already taken testimony on it and acted on it. And this will be something that we will move quickly when we get back in January. So thank you, Beth, again. It's always good to work with the Secretary of Administration and Steve Jeffrey.
Thank you, and geez, Beth, I know the position the towns are in, having been in that position before myself. Unfortunately, mine was because my daughter got married, but now we'll take Irene. So, first of all, I know that the towns have been very happy and proud of when they were dealing with Jeb Spaulding when he was a treasurer. But I think we're extremely fortunate to have Beth Pearce, and I have since you've been in office here. It seems that you've become the watchdog and the bulldog when it comes down to trying to make sure things are working out for Vermonters. So I want to thank you for your hard work and tell you how truly impressed I was with the fact that you took several ideas that came up that, quite frankly, because of all of the matters that we were dealing with, probably would have remained on the shelf for a while. But you recognize the importance of that, and you brought it to our attention and moved forward. So as a result, I believe the towns of Vermont, especially those who have been hardest hit, are going to find themselves in a position where they are going to have some breathing room when it comes down to making their payments this year. And really that's what this is about. I think when you see how Vermonters have portrayed themselves and have acted through the storm and through all the adversity that we experienced, this is just one other facet of how Vermonters get along and what they do for one another. So I just am very happy that the Speaker and I will be able to assist the Treasurer, Beth Pearce, in making this a reality. So again, Beth, thank you not only for my standpoint, but also for the towns that I represent that I know are going to, that this will help them out a great deal.